Yeah, no, buddy. I'm talking with a friend of mine elsewhere. But yeah, thanks for letting me know and welcome again. It's been a while. How are you doing? Any racing recently? Yeah, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I wasn't really actually aware, but I was just discussing with a friend elsewhere. So, but still, yeah. How is it going with the work? The last time you told me that you're stuck on something. Not entirely sure on what. I wrote you, but you haven't seen, I guess. Um, yeah, feel free to let me know. I think you mentioned you're working on, you want to make a racing title with F1 cars. I was streaming like hour ago, but decided to update the layout on the stream. As you can see, it's been pretty much updated and more modern, so to say. So once I figured that out, I came back again. Maybe you encountered the other previously or bothered you if you had any notifications. I have no clue, alerts and so on. I know friends of mine have, and they told me like, why your stream is not on, because I just got it, you know. But yeah, I turned it on and turned it off like very quickly. I was prototyping that, seeing if I wanted to do that or not. Looks good. Thank you very much, Wally. I'm contemplating of preparing a sim rig and to do occasionally some racing. I got an invitation to race in Grand Prix Virtual World Championship, but it requires a lot of time, so I'm not sure whether I'll be able to race competitively as that, you know, that would require. But yeah, my point is I do want to race something because I miss it. The last time I drove anything was pretty much when we raced, me and you, when we drove, you know, those cars, when I kicked your ass. I hope you don't mind me saying that. I'm taking a small break from it to focus on work. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's pretty much the same with me. So I will tell you I plan on streaming some of the sim racing stuff, but I realize that it might not be the best of, you know, choices, because I don't know, it's something in related with the graphic card and not having an additional server so to run those, you know. So it's pretty much there. And here. I'm gonna have it like that. Work has been very annoying recently. In what sense annoying? You didn't want to do it, or it's been some tricky models that you wanted to do? Six parts are like this, not more. Working in some moments and others not working at all. Problems. I'm reading upside down. Problems. I'm doing coding right now, and physics and replication has been a pain. Working in some moments and others not working at all. If you're trying to make physics, and obviously that's done through coding as you're applying that right now, it's a lot of going back and forth in trying to see what works, what not. So that's why I don't do it. I don't have the nerves for that. But I've done it like 25 years ago maybe. I was trying to tweak data files in F1 Challenge to make my car go faster, but once you go that route, it's like a rabbit hole. You don't have any... you should have pretty much good idea on what you're doing to be able to do it well. So I knew that I would never be able to have that. So as a result, I never tried it also. This is quite complicated model here that I have, and it's taking me some time really to pull it off, but we'll try to make it as authentically as possible. At least what's in my visual understanding of how this model it's supposedly supposedly needs to look. What's happening that I have this pain in the neck here? Oh my. I woke up with the exact neck pain. I don't know, mate. It's just this morning here, like some string. I don't know what's the. It's not ligaments. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have, I guess, such thing in there. Maybe I'm talking nonsense right now, and someone might be laughing if it's hearing me. You know what I'm saying. If someone is more medically sound. Anyway, it's bothering me quite a lot. I feel like my whole neck is it's strained, and later on actually I'm on a boxing training. I have signed for boxing, so I have this training in boxing where you have to do all these evasions and ducking down and all that, and I haven't received any hits yet. So I mean, I haven't had any sparrings as well, duels, you know. I'm just a beginner trying to learn the martial arts, more or less. But yeah, my point is that it's not from that, I'm sure. It's maybe something that I slept bad, you know. It feels odd, definitely. Okay, so look at this, the shape of how this is. I mean, it's quite weird. And I'll tell you, buddy, I would love to play Assassin's Creed right now because yeah, I began, you know, going across the whole game all over again, but Black Flag, which is the continuation of Assassin's Creed 3. So obviously, yeah, continuation of the story and all that, but I kind of... So what I'm trying to say is that I would like to play it while it's all fresh, you know, story-wise, but yeah, I just have to finish this model, and yeah, I would just love to, you know, being able to play something right now, but me too, I have to sit and do this model. Actually, not that I have to, I truly want, so it's kind of... So let me see, that's, yeah, on the second kind of floor, stepped there. So we need this and that, and this is filled, and there is no continuation on the bottom. So what that means is I can connect these fully. Where is the... Yeah, probably I should continue by doing the bottom here. The bottom, I meant the back side. Like this. I think I slept wrong. Hey ZQ. Hey man, thought I'd drop and say hello. I'd avoid sparring until you know what's up with your neck. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not like I've said. I'm just a beginner. More or less, I'm training just for the sake of the sport. Since always, I loved hitting a bag, and I was always kind of shy to go and try it out in front of other people because I felt like I'm gonna do very bad. Like the same I was when I first time tried karting, only to sit and kicks everyone's ass, you know. Prior to that, I was very much shy to sit in a go-kart and have it a go. So I'm fucking 35 right now, and I'm like, yeah, I have one life. I'm gonna go and just try that. Like, my wife jokes and says, because I have this channel about sim racing, it's called Duke's Drive. She laughs. She says, "You're Duke's Overdrive," because I'm thinking on things too much. I have spent probably a year before I decided to start streaming. So anyway, I just said it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try it. So by no means I'm going like hard at it. You know, I'm definitely training, you know, to improve my body stamina and endurance, whatever. But I'm not there, you know, to really fight and things like that. So still I haven't had any sparrings of that kind. I had just mild ones, so to say, where you kick only straight shots, like jabs, not, you know, heavy punches and all that. We're more or less still learning the basics, how to defend, how to hit, how to give a jab and all that, how to evade and all those kind of things, and do that very, very quickly. So, but yeah, the pain is definitely not from that. I can feel it because I'm going with that for probably a month and a half. So I'm getting more and more used to it. I don't feel sore after a training or anything like that, and I can throw like a series of 10 punches very, very fast. So I didn't have any trouble with my neck up until now, but from yesterday till today, something like feels odd. I don't know what, and I didn't have any training in that amount of time. So I think it's because I slept only bad. But anyway, yeah, for the torso it's very great. Like, you know, I don't know if you trained. I mean, they all say that it's very great for the upper body. So yeah, I have a friend who's actually going in the gym, and he's always, you know, he would call me, come out in the gym and all that, but I don't want to spend time in gym because I find it very boring, just lifting, you know, weights and all that. I don't like that. I've never been a person of that kind. I've always been more to rather walk up a mountain or something like that than just sit in a gym and lift weights. So he went, you know, like calling me out continuously, hey, come on in the gym, come on in the gym. And one time he says, hey, I went on boxing. I'm like, what? You went boxing? I'm joining in. So the first time he said it, I jumped right away. I meant to say I jumped at it right away. So yeah, it's great, great sport. For a time I've been training tennis as well, like on amateur level, but it's way too expensive. I mean, for boxing we are paying like 50 euros per month with trainer and all that. For tennis you would pay that amount only for 1 hour of training. And last year I had the luxury of spending those money without thinking much about it. I was having good time with project wise and all that, so I was going like 3 times a week, I would say, and like that for probably not half a year. That would be quite too much, like exaggeration, but I went like that for half a year for sure, in which time I had probably like 2 trainings every week, and if not more, definitely. But yeah, right now I cannot do that any longer, and not only that I cannot do that any longer, it's also that I do know the technique on how tennis is played, so I can enjoy it perfectly well with any other friend who would like to play a tennis match. I can do that. It's no problem. It's really to fine-tune, you know, the details of how you have to give a top spin or backhand and things like that. But in any way, you know, it's great to do sports. So what I'm trying to achieve here, I have more or less the back here. Now what I need is to connect these and make them look quite seamless. So there is a circle here. You say you do sim racing. I have a question. Yes, I'm doing sim racing indeed, and so does Wally just above in the chat. Yeah, you're both commenting on Twitch, so yeah, you should see each other's comments, I'm sure. Yep. Feel free, go ahead. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Cool, a question for you both then. Wally, if you're there, you feel free to respond as well, of course. I don't know, guys. In the meantime, while you pose your question, I'm just gonna say that recently Max Verstappen has been asked on more suitable training when it comes to racing F1 car, whether that's go-kart or sim racing, and he says sim racing because, and it quite resonates, you know, that's the logical thing, because also in his words he says go-karts are driven in a certain way, whereas F1 car is driven entirely different. So whereas you can learn the basics in go-karts, sim racing would teach you more about F1, he says, than a go-kart will. So that's been a great thing to hear from a four-time world champion like Max Verstappen, and arguably one of the greatest drivers ever. So yeah, I took pride in it because like I've stated several times during the course of these streaming sessions, since 2000 I always believed that sim racing will come a time when it will be so important. Not so important, like, I don't want to exaggerate something that much, so much. Many things are important when it comes to anything that you want to do professionally, be it even 3D modeling. You cannot be good only in one software, you have to learn more softwares. I'll have to learn others, you know, to just be able to compete with everyone else. So in that sense, you have to be very fit, you have to work obviously to have a great physique, to be mentally very strong and all that. So there are many aspects of it that you have to improve as a, you know, as a driver, to be the best version that you can be. But to say that sim racing is that important, yeah, it's just great to hear. And I believed in that since my very earliest of days of doing sim racing. I think even before sim racing was known as sim racing, because very early on the simulations were not quite seen as simulations. They might have been rather complex, but still they were just more advanced games, you know. Whereas today the thing is so highly developed that, yeah, it is how it is, you know. When I did not have the luxury or the you know, the not luck, the, I would say definitely luxury would be, because there are many poor people who have still decided to go and do racing. It's not like I couldn't, you know, but there is just a lot of involvement with your parents, you know, and being supported or not. And I think that's not really it's not very much appreciated of how much that it's important, really. Because my father, for one, was never about, you know, about that. He never liked that. He did watch the sport. He did transmit that passion maybe he had for not racing, not passion, but interest maybe in racing and knowledge about cars, that myself as a kid looked up to it, and I wanted to be more like, you know, like him and learn more about that. So I fell in love with the sport and the whole notion that it's not only, you're not limited to your physique, whether in other sports, like, you won't be able to jump above, I don't know, Michael Jordan or someone else because he's simply stronger than you. But when you're put in an equal situation where you all have certain equipment which will help you to, you know, operate at a certain level, it's not as much as it is of the human physical aspect as it is of the mental one. And I always cherish that notion that if you are very much willing to do something or achieve something, you will through sheer will. So that's what sim racing represents for me. And what I went saying is that maybe if I had you know, a little bit more support in that sense, maybe I would have pursued such a career. But still, what I meant to say is more about the how expensive that sport is. So even, let's say, you know, one tried, or let's say I'm gonna talk in this case specifically about myself. So even if I haven't tried that, I could have tried sim racing, and and I did, and I was very successful with it, and I was very competitive in it. And if one thing's, you know, saddens me, it's the fact that as I grew older, I was mistaken about thinking that I will have more time, you know, to spend doing sim racing. When in reality is, as the time goes on, you have less and less time and nerves to spend time on doing that. So if I go back and look up in sim racing and how I, you know, how competitive I was back in the early days and all that, I would say I had much more nerve to sit down and train and do things. For example, today I cannot imagine myself sitting 12 hours working on a setup of a racing of a specific vehicle. Back then I would do it. I would sit for 12 hours and I would circle, like, you know, on my own around the circuit and trying to find the tiniest of gaps and all that in a setup to try and win some race, and I will win it and so on. But you know, today it's like you have much more important things to do, and when you know that as for a fact, it's kind of some mental barrier, you know. You don't feel well, you know. It's the same thing with work. When I don't work anything, like when I'm not productive, when I don't do any projects, I have like this anxiety that, you know, like, it's not cool. You have to do something. You have to find a project. You have to do some projects and all that. So there are some people that they won't care, for example, on that part. They'll be like, okay, whatever, like, I get a project, I don't get a project, it doesn't make any difference. you know, I can live with this and that and so on. In my case, it's not pretty much, it's not very much or at all like that. It's quite the opposite. It's like consequence of everything, and everything a consequence of winning, so to say. I don't know if that makes sense. ZQ, you said you wanted to ask a question and you haven't asked your question, so feel free to go ahead and don't mind me talking. I'm just trying to keep myself upbeat and on alert, you know. Recently I was reading a book and they say about this example in China, actually in Japan, sorry, where people working in metro stations, the example was about Japan not having any accidents when it comes to metro stations. And the reason for that, as they say, is that the people who work there, whatever they do, whatever procedure they have to pull off, they always repeat the procedure. Like, not repeat the work, but what I meant to say is that they say it out loud. So in that way, they are conscious of what they've done, and they're for sure, you know, confident that, for example, a passenger entered a seat, or the train left the station, I don't know what. So maybe I'm not saying what I'm doing right now, but by me engaging and talking, it's, you know, it helps me to stay more active. My son, teenage one, okay, this is a rather larger one, and I'll have to enlarge this one in here. Just a moment. So my son, teenage, wants to set up a sim racing rig. I don't know much about it. Currently just uses an old wheel pedal of mine for beam.ng. That's, I think, another sim racing title. Assetto and couple of rally games. So I want to get him something good that he can build over time. I don't mind buying a used setup and only want to spend £200-300 to start with. So just the wheel and pedals. Maybe a gear shift. Then eventually upgrade and get a seat frame monitor array, etc. So any recommendations for a starter rig? Well, in that case, I will. For the things I know, I will say I know. For the things I don't, I will say I don't. And this is something that I don't. I'm racing myself on Logitech G29, so it's very low budget, like starter thing budget. So, but Wally here, he has a nice sim rig himself, and I'm sure he would be pretty much more knowledgeable, for sure, in this area than me, and he will be able to tell you more about this. But if that's your budget, and I mean, you say that he's currently using an old wheel pedal of yours. So what's that old wheel and pedal? Because in many cases, someone's old stuff are far better than mine, and I would tell you that with what I have, I enjoyed perfectly well doing any sim racing at any level. But if you want to experience higher forces and stronger, more reliable, real not G-forces, but force feedback, then you would need much more serious equipment. But it's pretty much about what you truly want to achieve and experience, and whether it's long-term, short-term, because they're reliable, unreliable. One thing I would say is, if your son wants to be serious about it, serious in the sense that he's spending a substantial amount of time doing it, that he gets a proper seat, because the back, this here, it's gonna be very important for you to sit properly than how I am doing it right now with this. This is where I would race, so I would just install the wheel and that's it. But when you press brakes, my chair pushes back, and when that happens, I am quite ineffective in braking, and as much as I can be ineffective in braking, I'm still quite fast. So it's kind of it's the point was not for me to say that I'm fast. That what I'm trying to say is that it's actually very much making me not anxious, not, I would say nervous, you know, for the fact that I don't have such an, how to say, environment set up, so to limit those issues, because I don't have where to put a simulator in here. So if he is planning on doing something serious and doing, you know, that like competitively, and I would suggest that the gear is not what I was trying to say is that the gear is not as much as important as the whole structure of where he is going to drive. Like, it's not just a chair like this, but it's a proper rig. And when it comes to rig, then you have a lot of low budget, self-made, do it yourself, you know, blueprints and all that. So, but still, I mean, they're not like 200-300 pounds. They're much more expensive than that. So, honestly, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, mate. Yeah, that makes sense. The current wheel is probably 15 years old. Can't recall the name just now. GT something I bought for Gran Turismo. My PC2, so yeah, very old. I think he will take it seriously, but young teenagers can be fickle, so don't want to spend, yeah, 1,700 straight away in case he drifts away. So it's a test case for now. GT, I think he might have. Let me see if I get that correct. So. GT Sim Racing wheel, but yeah, it's too, yeah, that's too broad. It will have a lot. I would say just check what you have, if it's better or not than Logitech G29. If what you have it's not better than Logitech G29, get him Logitech G29, because that's pretty much around 200 to maybe top 300 pounds. I got that for 300 euros here in Macedonia. So get him that. It should be sufficient for him beginning with it right now. And like you say, see how he develops. If he develops to be really into it and he has great interest in it, sure, you can, I mean, you would know the best yourself, of course. You can surely get something more. But I wish, you know, my father had these conversations with someone, because now I wouldn't imagine this in, I don't know, ever, that my father would join someone's stream and they would talk for what he would get to his son. I'm trying to make this analogy about what you asked me right now. My father never supported me in doing that. He actually, on the contrary, he was very much against it. No matter how good I was, I mean, for sure he wouldn't know about that, and I wouldn't dare to speak about that, because I'm speaking about times when sim racing was beginning, back in 2005, 6, something like that, and I was only, how much, 15 years of age? So he never kind of supported me ever, and whatever you do, I'm sure it will mean the world to your son, and I'm sure he will be great. But if it means anything to you, I mean, you've done sim racing yourself, if I understood well. So if it means anything to you, I can tell you that I can be arrogant to say that you should take me seriously when I say this, that you can learn a lot from, not you, but people can learn a lot from sim racing. It's not just my idea, it's a fact, it's proven. It really sharpens your cognitive skills. You know, to focus, to be alert, to have understanding on how to approach things. When in a car, you know, how to drive through corners, how to drive through traffic. I'm not saying you should drive Assetto Corsa with mods going through traffic only to know how to go through traffic, but I'm saying you would just be better at handling in, you know, high traffic situations where you have to navigate going around and all that. Just for the sake of understanding how inertia, lateral movements work, how you shouldn't upset your car, how, you know, all these things that play a lot of important part when you're driving a car, so even professionally. So definitely it can be learned a lot, and it's not just a mere game, you know, where you know, you're doing something that doesn't have any value. On the contrary, it has. The only thing that I would say, which is very important, is that no one at no point should mistake sim racing for real racing, because what happens in the real world cannot be compensated with any simulation. It just can't. Physically, it's impossible. So that shouldn't be taken, you know, as I'm good in simulation. I for sure can, I don't know, go 200 an hour on a highway and race someone. You know, in sim racing, although it will be a cliche to say it, it just, you know, you crash, you hit escape, that's it. You hit a button and that's it. In real life, it's not like that. And not only that, but I've lost control of a car going in real life. I've tried, you know, like to go very fast and try to do on a racing track what I've been doing with a with the same car in a simulator. It's not the same. Like, you would know how to approach the corner and how you should brake and all that, but the effect of you having this car, you know, sliding beneath your ass and you feeling the loss of grip and loss of control while going 200 kilometers an hour, that feeling, like that adrenaline that hits you in the moment, it's uncomparable with anything in sim racing. Current wheel is Logitech EX5C 19 driving force. Let's see what that is. I've never heard about that. That's excruciatingly long name for... Oh yeah, get him Formula, what I'm saying, get him Logitech G29. This is not good enough. Not good enough. I mean, it's okay for, you know, to have any, to get the feel of driving and all that, but Logitech G29 would be better. I'm seeing this Logitech Driving Force GT, and now this is the one that you have actually, so this might be bit better, but just checking it out still here. Let me load on the big screen here. So it looks fine. It looks fine actually. Yeah, so this is for... I would say it looks fine. Maybe you shouldn't even take anything else. Yeah, it's pretty much, you know, that's the quality pretty much. So that's the build. It's not a direct wheel drive, so he will hear those gear cracking and all that. It's how it works. It's pretty much the same as the one that I have. It's, if you type it G29 Logitech, you would see it. But considering what you've said, that he's beginner and just trying out, you know, I think you should get that. Main thing he wants true is the gear shift for his rally sim. G29 and the shifter on the side, that will be okay. In my 25 years, more or less, as I've done sim racing, I've never used the gear shifter. Never, ever. Yeah, better, but how better it is, I have no clue. Honestly, they're more or less the same class from what I'm seeing. So Okay, thanks for the insights, much appreciated. You're welcome, buddy, you're welcome. Of course. I hope it helped. How should I make these? I'm contemplating that. Should I get these circles here, cylinders actually, and just throw them around, or it's very hard when you don't have the whole model, guys. I have no clue how to continue. I mean, I do have a clue, but you know, whether one approach or the other, it's gonna be quite detrimental for everything else. So should I do this? I can stare at it like whole day, and I feel like I can stare at it whole day. I have like these three separate pieces, thinking what should I do, and quite frankly, I think I know. So the point is, this is quite original from the scan, and you would see the circle here is much more like an ellipse on the sides. So this shouldn't be a circle, it should be more like this, you see? But still, this is not like that, and maybe it's just deformed, so maybe I can do this and this make it be much wider like that. I don't know if this makes sense. I don't know how this one is truly. Maybe it will be unique, that for sure. But yeah, you see here it's quite off, so it should be a circle, I guess, because the form on the front is not following also. So in that case, either I make it everything off or everything on, like in circle, full circle or not. What I do think is that I need to make this like a mirrored on the other side, so I can join in later on with it. You know, make like a cut on it later on. So I'll try to make sure I have this mirrored like this. Control Shift B for connecting the polygons. At least that's how I have set up on my side. Quick deleting of the edge there, so to have a clear front line there in the center, very much centered. And I will eliminate, not eliminate, but also cut this portion of the model here, because now I'll work towards building this on its own, like that. So this will be more or less another circle there that will follow that element with which it will help join this in here. For this, in the other news, I will have these welded from here, but the manner in which I'm gonna do this is pretty much I'm gonna, where's, oh yeah, make this quite big, and this as well, like that and like that. So I'll have my version of it. I'm sure it will be appreciated. So we have 72 edges. Calculator. 72 subdivided by 6. That's on every 12th of an edge here. So we should have. Now how that would be, I cannot be sure that. Oh my. I'll do this actually. I'll have it in the middle. I'll have it in the middle. And maybe smaller. Just no, not smaller. That's way smaller actually. Actually, this is bigger, like that. And I'll try at least to make it believable, so it will be straight on there, and then duplicate it more or less. Yeah, and that's the scan over there where it shows that there should be another piece, so I'll have those and this. And now I'll detach this, so I have only these. I'll have to do this 5 times. Okay. Actually, I'll try to use ChatGPT. Classic procedural modeling challenge. It is what it is. Actually, what I'll do is, quite frankly, I'm gonna model, fill in this here, and later on I'm just gonna try and cut this at an angle so it's applicable on the other sides too. What was this song? It's quite. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, bum, bum, dum, da-da-dum, dum, dum, da-da-dum, bum, bum, da-da-dum, dum. No idea why this happens, but my microphone is automatically switched on and off. I was saying if anyone can please respond whether you can be hearing any music from Spotify on my end, from my stream. Hello. Yep, it's working now. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Yep, it's working. Something has changed here. Great, thank you, ZQ. Is it okay if I call you ZQ because your nickname is ZJQJ? ZJQJ, maybe like that can work. ZJQJ. Yeah, Kurt, man, Kurt. I know you said that. Sorry, Kurt. ZJ. Now this time I will for sure remember it. I forgot that you did mention your name previously. Actually, why I'm doing this? But yeah, it's different in size here with a number of edges, so I thought for a second to just bridge them, but still I have to do this.
Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Inhaling content.
When you complete modeling UV milestone, do you restructure, rename your tag?
Exhaling time.
What's
Inhaling content.
tag? Sorry, zero the outliner graph. What about it? Oh, you mean do I clean it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would clean it even now because I hate when it's like this. So, for example, I have some sorted here, but the rest is pretty much a mess because it's still gonna be worked on and refined. So, in that sense, I'm not bothering that much about it just yet, but most certainly I will when the time comes. If that was your question, I hope it got answered.
Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Exhaling time.
Oh yeah, didn't see that section was behind your camera output. Yeah.
Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Inhaling content. Exhaling time. Exhaling time. Exhaling time.
How the hell should I make that one now? Not seeing anything on how that looks. I actually like these more than how I have them right now. Like this, although I spent probably a few hours doing this complex shape. Kurt, I'm gonna go with your suggestion. Should I leave this as it is, or should I make these like they are, you know, this? Make which parts can see clearly on the reference shot. Well, these here, the gray ones, the alloy metal, like the tubes. Should I make those, or should I just go with this? Because I already made one sample, which is different from the scan. You see, on the scan, there are these two cylinders here, the main ones, and it looks like this. It has all these details on it, you see, and I spent a great deal of time yesterday, like 2 hours maybe I've spent only doing this. So I'm wondering, should I just go with the other one, or well, I'd say a key feature of your work here is the amount of detail and accuracy. So I'd say it, if time allows. Yeah, but you know what my reasoning is that I have a 3D scan which shows clearly different, and if I stick to this layout of how this scan is, yeah, I have different tubes. But if I do these, then I'm going away from the design that I have on the 3D scan, clearly. Something would be off. Something has to be off. So it's rather a matter of taste and design, I guess, on should I think that if I make these, I don't know how to incorporate the bottoms here. So I will stick, I think, with these after all, and have the engine. Yeah, I think it will be better to stick with the scan after all, and only to use, because again, this is a quite unique scan that I'm not sure anyone else can get it unless they have the car. And I was working with this client that happily had the car, and they shared this with me when I had to work on the vehicle, when I actually first made this vehicle. So yeah, I guess better to stick with this and just go with the plan as intended, and then just to use maybe some texturing on how this is here made, and that can be a nice combination. So this is going quite low, actually. It's going down to the bottom. Of it, see it like that. So we have quite a lot of work to do in here. All of this will have to be a circle. Will be a circle. Doesn't necessarily have, you know, that it has to be, but it just is. Anyway, so less philosophy on that. Let's do that. Combine both. Merge that, merge this, merge both, have the center, just like that. And then let's assume this needs to be a circle, so I'll just be right back. And by the way, what do you think of the new layout I have on the stream? I was making it this morning. Be right back. I noticed the second monitor with the ref shot looks good. I don't know, really look. I don't really look at any of the Twitch overlay stuff. Sorry, so I didn't notice changes. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, no worry whatsoever. I'm just, asking whether it's been, whether anyone has noticed anything. So, don't switch in here. What's the matter? Has someone looked up for me? No. My app is reading all the low. What's this? Yeah. Okay, let's go back to it. So. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Yeah, so quite frankly, this needs to be all welded together. So there is like a elevation there. Where's the scan? Yep. So I guess that's only that. So it's not due to. Okay. I just have to delete this. Actually, pretty much is I need a new one. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so then just find a central point. And once we do, I'm just gonna cut through the whole element there, the whole body of the previous model, and then we'll be making welding, and it will look good. It will look good. So bear with me. It's gonna take a while. I'm making these details into these objects into details. So I want them to not only appear but to be visible. That it's not like just a block out placed, a placeholder like this. But I actually wanted to have it welded like this in here, everything, and to be quite detailed. Although it's gonna be a very tiny small piece in there, which I mean it will be visible once I open it up everything. But considering the vehicle I have made so far, I think it deserves all the details that I can add on the rear engine. It's gonna be fabulous, I'm sure, and I just cannot wait really to make it, to complete it. It's still a lot of work to do, so one thing at a time, but yeah, I think I should speed up a bit more. Bye, Kurt. Have a nice day and take care. Okay guys, I think this will be all for today. I have other errands to run, but this is pretty much good. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll continue developing that. I unfortunately have to go.